The 0800 to Edinburgh. This train is not the 0800 to Edinburgh. That train will be leaving from the opposite platform.
Well, I'm finally on the way to Harrogate to go and see the flower show. I'm running an hour late because of incompetent staff at East Coast Rail Line. It's starting to get a bit windy now, so I've had to put my pullover on and get ready for the northern weather. Well, we're here at the Harrogate show, so let's have a look at some of the highlights going on this year, including the world's heaviest onion and world heaviest marrow.
The secret is really 12 months of dedication to it, giving it every care and attention.
And can you eat them as well?
You can eat them, yes.
Yeah, so they still taste?
Yeah, they're nice and mild, yes.
If somebody was to try and do this themselves, is there a special seed you need?
You're best to have a seed from a winning onion, you know, or from a winning grower. It's difficult to buy the selected strains that these are grown from. So yes, if you can get some from a friendly grower, that's the best way.
What do you think about the show this year?
Oh, fantastic.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We've seen some world records in the vegetables. It's fantastic.
I can't get over the size of the onion, which is a world record, isn't it?
It is.
18, was it £18 or something?
£18 1
and
ounce.
these cabbages are absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about having a go?
Well, this year I've grown my first tomatoes, and I've got one tomato, but all the rain apparently it's ruined them. And my potatoes, I had a brilliant crop last year, and I've poor crop this year with all the rain because it's washing all the nutrients out.
So these tomatoes here, how big are your tomatoes compared to there?
Oh,
Mine
only little.
The size of a 2p.
Only very little.
Very poor because we have no sunshine this year.
No, been a very bad year for the gardens.
Yes.
But these are magnificent.
Well, I've come out of the show tent and it's typical northern weather. It's windy and the rain was out this morning, but it's now cleared up. And I've caught up with one of the finalists of the BBC Young Gardener of the Year competition, Jamie Butterworth.
Well, since Young Gardener of the Year, I've been back to college and I've been studying my plant ID because that's what really let me down, to be honest, on the programme. And I've also been working on my garden design as well as everything else. But that's the part of horticulture that I absolutely love.
Now, you're involved with this garden here. Explain to me the planting and the thinking behind it.
It's made with recycled materials from the spring flower show and a very simple palette of colours and plants that are very easy to maintain, and it's also very beneficial to wildlife. We've got insect hotels, we've got bird boxes, and planting that would definitely benefit the wildlife.
So what you plan to do next?
I'm actually in the process of designing my own show garden, which is going to be called the Forager's Garden. which is going to be all edible plants. So it's going to be 100% edible plants, that some of which you might not realise are edible plants, such as nettles and dandelions. And because one thing I love is going out foraging, and I'd like to get that into a show garden and showcase it to the public. So can you tell us where you got your inspiration for the garden from?
Well, this garden is called the Tranquil Far East, and I wanted to bring something of my sort of roots to Harrogate. Originally I'm from Singapore, and this year, you know, with the Olympics and the Queen's Jubilee, you know, Britain very much being in the focus on the world stage, this whole garden is based on royalty.
So can you tell us a little bit about the stand?
Yeah, it's a display of perpetual flowering carnations. We've tried, there's 18 bowls, we've tried to get, you know, as many varieties on as we can. 17 varieties we've used. We've doubled up on Vienna because it's one of the most popular, you know, that we sell. So it just gets it out there for people to see.
It really is very impressive. For someone that's just going to start growing carnations, is there any particular varieties that you'd recommend to grow?
The perpetuals, they're all very, very easy to grow. When we send them out to the customers, they're in a 7 centimetre pot, stocked with brakes on. They can put them straight into the final pot and grow them away. As long as they offer support to the plant as it's growing, there's not really a lot they can do, you know, wrong with them. They can be grown in the garden. They are fully hardy plants. In the greenhouses last year we had temperatures down to -15. The mother plants that we used for stock had no protection apart from the glass. They were frozen solid. When they've thawed out, they start growing again. They are really, really easy to grow, not temperamental at all. You know, they'll tolerate the cold and extreme heat.
So to keep them through the winter, you just leave them in the garden?
Yeah, they'll be all right. You know, as long as, if it's a really cold winter like we've had, a bit of protection, a bit of fleece, something like that will, you know, help them through. But they should tolerate most standard UK winters.
Well, I've caught up with Linda and Judith from the Ripon and Harrogate Beekeepers Association. My year in beekeeping has been absolutely awful. So how's it been for you?
It's been abysmal. It's been very difficult. We're actually feeding the bees right now. We've been feeding them for several weeks, and normally you would expect a crop of honey. We shouldn't be feeding the bees for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So from now on you would expect to feed them, which is fine, which we are doing, but it's been very difficult.
Yeah. Have you had any honey crop at all?
I've got about 6 frames of 4 colonies, which is going to be maybe 10 or 12 pounds.
Right.
Last year I got 85 pounds off 3 colonies. So that's a comparison. It's been a very poor year.
Yeah. Judith, how many hives have you got?
Well, at the moment we've got more than we should have. I think we've got 9 at the moment because of all the problems that have been this year, splitting colonies, bee swarming, all the rest. Now of those, only 2 have been productive this end of the summer, and they've been off to Ripon City Golf Club where there's some very, very nice flowers, mixed flowers on the edge of the course, and we have got quite a lot of honey from those 2 colonies, but the rest of them we're feeding. All our other colonies, they're to build up, they're having to be fed, they haven't got enough foragers to be able to get enough on the odd sunny day that we get.
One of the things I've noticed as well, I do a lot of wild food gathering, and anything that was dependent on blossom in May has had a bad crop this year. So very few wild apples. The elderflower was late this year, but it's not as good as it's normally been, and I've found no sloes growing at all near where I am. And again, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that the bees weren't able to get out because of the rain, or the blossom just got hammered in the rain as well.
We also had very bad frosts in April, and we've got a pear tree, a lovely pear tree, full of blossom, masses, full of bees, masses of pollination, not a single pear in it because of when the frost came. And the frost came after the pollination, and there's no pears on that tree whatsoever.
Harrogate show is a fantastic show, and this year, with it being a really bad year, we're very surprised that it's turned out to be as good. It's been wonderful. Peter Glazebrook went and broke the world record for an onion. That onion, you know, was whopper. It was £18 and 1 ounce, and I can't tell you the metric because I'm an old-fashioned gardener. But he broke the world record, and it was wonderful. And these big onions, you know, they are absolutely huge. What a fantastic thing at Christmas time. Shove that in a turkey and it will not make its eyes pop. You know?
So what's been some of your gardening highlights this year?
Gardening highlights this year? Certainly the soft fruit. And I was lucky enough in the hall here to win the first prize for a basket of fruit. As late on as mid-September, I'm still picking strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. I'm now picking apples and pears. So fruit has done very well. A lot of the vegetables have had a good year, but there's been diseases about, and the way that we combat them is to spray with garlic. Because garlic is a wonderful barrier.
If somebody was thinking about getting into gardening, what would be the vegetable that you would say, right, that's an easy one, you won't fail?
All right. Oh, hundreds of them. Really easy. The totally easiest is to have a full packet of spinach seed and sow it once a fortnight. That will last you nearly all the way through the summer, and you'll be picking spinach leaves within 4 weeks. It'll go to seed on you, but in the meantime you've had the crop, put another sowing in, only go a foot apart in the rows, keep sowing it all the time. Fresh spinach, you'll be like Popeye, you know, no trouble.
It's been terrific, but it always is this show. Everyone's so keen. Keen gardeners, but beginner gardeners as well, have been coming up and asking us, you know, how to start growing veg, being inspired by all this wonderful show veg we've got here.
Now, Kitchen Garden, the magazine, has an association with this show. What is it about this show that you quite like in order to be associated with?
Well, it's two things. Partly, it's like the enthusiasm of the people that are here, but also the sheer quality of the veg. You won't find any better anywhere else. Absolutely marvellous. I mean, for example, we've beaten the record again for the largest onion, which is amazing. We didn't think, with all the bad weather we've had this year, never dreamt that we were going to beat the record. But Peter Gray's book's done it again, 3rd year running.
And on a personal note, how's your gardening year?
It was awful, I have to say. I'd be lying if I said anything else. Some things were great. Soft fruit was wonderful, but a lot of things just weren't. Some things like sweet corn that need a lot of sun, obviously, were just no go for me, I'm afraid. Can't lie.
I think, considering the weather we've had, the quality of the produce here, the fruit, the flowers, the vegetables and the nursery stands is absolutely exceptional. They've really pulled out all the stops and brought their very best to the show.
Now, you've got the heaviest onion, the heaviest marrow.
That's right, yeah. I mean, the giant veg is something that's fairly new, but it's getting more and more popular by the year, not just with the growers, but the visitors really enjoy it as well. It's something good to look at, you know, a 5-foot diameter cabbage. But the onion, again, is a real achievement. The guy that grew it, Peter Glazebrook from Nottinghamshire, got the record last year, and this year he's beaten it by just 1.5 ounces. And to do that 2 years on the trot, especially with it being such a bad year, I think is absolutely wonderful.
Hello there, my name's David Allison. I'm the secretary of the local branch of the National Vegetable Society. I'm also on the national executive, and for my sins I'm the magazine editor.
So what type of show have you had this year, and how many successes?
Me personally, not brilliant, because I'm spending a long time now editing the magazine instead of being out in the garden looking after my vegetables, and the weather this year has been a challenge for me as well, so my own veg haven't done as good as I would have liked them to, but they're okay. I mean, I grow for the dinner plate as well as the show plate.
So for those who don't know what the society is, explain that to me.
The National Vegetable Society is a society for anybody that wants to learn how to grow good quality vegetables, either to eat or to show or both. We've got a vast amount of knowledge within the membership. We've got an active website, we do a magazine, we've got growing leaflets, so you can pick up mountains of information on how to grow veg, and we do advice desks all over the country, so if people can come with the problems and say I can't grow this because, and we'll try and give an answer.
Because that's what some people think that your society is just for showing, for growing, which it isn't it?
Historically, it was. We've been going 60 years, and for the first probably 30 years, it was run by and for exhibitors. It was a showing society. We've moved completely away from that now. We cater for the showmen, but because we're growing the membership, which is contrary to most specialist societies, we're now appealing to the ordinary kitchen gardener as well.
So this display here, how did you bring all this together?
More by luck than by management, to be honest, because all this is grown by our members. Now, we are fortunate in one of our members actually works and runs a market garden near Rothwell in Pontefract. So a lot of for instance, the cauliflowers come from his employers. Because for one person to grow that many cauliflowers, to be all ready on the same day, would be almost impossible. You'd need 3 acres of land. So a lot of the specialist stuff is grown by the members. A week before, we have a meeting to hopefully do a list of who's got what. They all bring it here on Thursday morning, and when we put it on here. So till it all gets here, we really don't know what we've got to play with. So it's a miracle that we get anything, to be honest.
And what's the show been like this year?
Phenomenal. I mean, I thought that the show benches would have been a bit light on exhibitors, but both the quality and the quantity is probably the best for 3 or 4 years. It's tremendous.
Have you found that there's been more interest because of the economy, and that people are going back to grow your own?
Self-sufficiency almost. Yeah, I think there is, and I think, but more important than that, people now want to know what they're eating. So if they've grown it, they know what chemicals they've used, they know what fertiliser they've used, and they can grow things that they like to eat, because taste is a very personal thing. So when you buy something from a supermarket, until you get it home, you have no idea what it tastes like. Whereas once you've tasted a variety of something, you say, oh yeah, I like that, you can grow it. So I think it's two things. People want to know what they're growing, they want to know what they're eating, they want to know what it's been grown with and what chemicals have been used on it. Particularly if you're an organic grower, then you can grow them organically. So I think those are the two main reasons. Yeah, there is an element of, in a recession, people looking after the pennies, and one or two economists have done some calculations that from a standard allotment plot, you can get about £120 worth of veg for a cost of about 30. So you're getting 4 times the income than 4 times the income against the initial outlay.
Traditionally, for bowls of 12, 18 brooms or 9 brooms, this is how they stage to the front, presented to the judge. So when the judge comes on, they're all there. But of course, he is allowed to spin the bowl round to have a look that you've got the right amount of stems.
Oh, it's been a fantastic show. I mean, there are 14 national societies autumn championships at Harrogate, so it's the mecca really for keen exhibitors and gardeners to come to Harrogate. And if you look around, you'll find the National Rose Society Championships here, but there's the Dahlia Society next door, and the fuchsias, chrysanthemums, and I won down in the carnation section, see, so, and they grow vegetables down in the permanent hall down there. So
because you've had quite a few firsts this year again.
I have done, yes. I have had a few in the roses, and quite a few with carnations, and they've had the odd prize down in the bottom hall.
So have you moved away from veg?
I've always liked flowers, but I like vegetables. I can't only grow one thing. You know, I like something coming all year round. I like other things as well.
And what's it been like for you in the Rhondda? Because the weather's been a bit terrible this year.
Yeah, we've had it like everybody else, wet. I will say, I think people understand now around the country what we normally have to suffer. We're in one of the highest rainfall areas, you know, well, certainly an urban area where people live. We can have over 100 inches of rain a year, but this year I think up in the Lake District and other places they've had it probably worse than us. So, you know, it's evened out to things, I think, a bit.
Now you exhibit with veg, chrysanthemums, roses. What area do you think you're going to go into next?
I'll be honest with you, I quite like begonias, but I've got the ideal greenhouse for begonias, but I mean you can't have two things in there at the same time, and I grow late flowering chrysanthemums. The pots are heavy, they're difficult to manage and things like that. I'm pretty fit now and I like growing them, but maybe in a year or two if I got a bit more stiff and a bit older and a bit more fatigued, then I might say, well, I'll pack those big heavy things in and I'll grow begonias.
What is it about showing and exhibiting and travelling all over the country that keeps you doing it?
Well, what it is, it's not too much about, we all like to win, you know, and we're a bit competitive, but that's not the only thing. The main thing is, I know a lot of people here. I know a lot of people in all the shows I go to. I make a lot of friends. Some of them you call them your friend, but I mean they're not friends that you're on the phone to every week, but they're people that you see in say 6 or 7 shows a year. When you see them, you're glad to see them and you have a chat. It's all the camaraderie.
And it's good to exchange tips. So what are you up to?
What's coming well for me and things like that. I see varieties other people grow. I've been down there in the carnations now. A guy I know, he had 2 varieties I fancy, so I probably get in contact with him now and ask him what's the chance of a few cut-ins.
And then for next year, you'll beat him.
No, you love to do that, don't you? You love to somebody give you cut-ins and you go along and beat them the following year. That's the icing on the cake, that is.
How long have you been exhibiting now? Because it's been quite a few years.
I started when I was in school.
Only 5 years then?
Well, 6 or 7 years now. You wouldn't believe it how old I've got. No, it's 50. Yeah, more than 50 years ago. More than 50 years ago.
Do you notice how? Is there a lot of younger people coming into it?
No.
Is that a problem?
It's a worrying thing. It's a hobby that gardening is not dying out. Gardening and growing plants in your garden at home is more popular now than I think it's ever been. When I look over people's gardens, there's a heck of a lot of nice tidy gardens, better than what they were when I was young. But a lot of them got no ambition to take them to flower shows and to compete and things like that. Well, I know there's no harm in that. I mean, if you enjoy the gardening, that's the main thing. But one thing about going to flower shows, you know, you do meet other people, like-minded people and things like that. But I'm probably in the South Wales area when we go to chrysanthemum shows. I'm the 3rd youngest there, and when I was in my 20s, you know, that's 40 years ago, I was the youngest. So there's only really 2 or 3 that have come along and stuck at it.
Maybe we should have a word with Simon Cowell and set up the X-Flower.
Yeah, that would be good, that would. Yeah, and see what we can do.
Well, that's all from the Harrogate Flower Show. Join me back in the garden when I'll be getting ready for winter.
You're watching the Horticultural Channel, the only YouTube gardening channel broadcasting every week, even in winter. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. For the latest gardening and allotment news, visit our website at thehorticulturalchannel.tv.
It's competition time! Hello, it's time for a competition. We've got 2 signed copies of James Wong's Homegrown Revolution, which has just come out and already gone to #1 in the best-selling gardening charts. I've also got a selection of seeds from the book, about £10 worth. So all you need to do to win this fantastic prize is send an email with your name and address to the email address on screen at the moment. But one of the key points you must do is you must put James Wong in the subject box. The selection is done by computer, so if you don't put that in the subject box, then you won't be included. So include James Wong in the subject box and send it to the email on screen at the moment. Here's James to tell us about the book.
I'm James Wong, self-confessed plant geek and compulsive foodie. In my suburban former front lawn, I have been meticulously trialling crops from all corners of the globe to track down some seriously cool foodie treats that are super easy to grow, stunningly ornamental, and virtually unbuyable outside of fancy London food halls. And you know what? You don't need a greenhouse. You don't even need a garden. Just a pot of soil, a packet of seeds, and a greedy disposition. Whether it's the deliciously sticky golden orbs of Inca berries, each encased in their own paper lantern, or the tiny grape-sized fruit of cucamelons that taste of cucumber with a tinge of lime. Who says us Brits can't grow exotic fruit? So if you're looking for something that's just a little bit more exciting than your dig for victory style veg, something that'll open up a whole world of weird and wonderful flavour, but is just as easy to grow, then it looks like you're on the right track. Love the taste of spinach but hate how infernally tricky it is to grow? We'll swap it for the delicious multi-coloured shades of quinoa greens, with flowers as pretty as their super grain harvest. Get into edible explosives with the disco-coloured ears of Fiesta popcorn. Just brush with butter and bung them in the microwave to see them spit out little white clouds of deliciousness. For truly dedicated foodies, there can be nothing more eyebrow-raising than electric daisies. Pop one in your mouth for an instantly fizzy, space dust-like sensation. Seriously cool in cocktails, in salads, and so much more.
The side of my jaw's gone.
Good way, bad way.
Good for a prank.
This is your first chance to break free from the allotmenteer's time warp and grow something that is truly incredible. So what on earth's stopping you?
Also, if you join me next spring, you can see me planting and sowing some of these seeds throughout the season next year. Hopefully we'll have better weather than this year. Well, it's getting a bit blowy now, so it's time to pop indoors and get on that computer. Enter the competition.
You're watching the Horticultural Channel, the only YouTube gardening channel broadcasting every week, even in winter. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. For the latest gardening and allotment news, visit our website at thehorticulturalchannel.tv.